Good morning. How you doing? It's Monday, March 30th, and we're starting our third week of this quarantine okay, I won't use the word quarantine, our self-distancing, social isolation. Feels like quarantine. Anyway, I'm just looking at my notes real quick. I'm going to start putting in grades this week, new grades this week. So everything you've been doing so far is just review work. For the most part, it pretty much is review work. Everything you've been doing, however, with that review, those will be things that will count for grades for this fourth quarter. As far as if you're in the CP class, the gizmos, you were already told a couple weeks ago those are mandatory, and actually they're mandatory for every class when they're assigned. But those will be grades that count in the fourth quarter. Also, if you watched the video I sent out on Friday, you also know that the participation that you're doing in this e-learning online, all the assignments that I have, those participation grades, they do count. So those of you who aren't logging in, you're going to start seeing zeros for your grades. I've got a record of all those. I got the exact date and time anyone's logged in, so please make sure you're doing that. Don't lose points for something as silly as not doing what you're supposed to do. I know there are those of you who, as a result of this, you are possibly working during the day, and that's fine. But keep in mind, you are a student, and during the school hours, you're supposed to be in school. So if by chance you have worked something out with a boss where you're working in the first part of the day, that's fine. But you are still responsible without any excuses as to why you don't have your stuff done. So just get it done that night. I look at every day who's doing stuff. I don't care if you log in and do that stuff at 10 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter, but it has to get done. Okay? Today is the Google Meet session for Chem 2 CP, and then in the calendar I'll put something up for the honors class that we'll be having later this week, but it'll be on that Wednesday. So once the session is there, click on that, and then we'll talk about anything we need to as far as things that you don't understand, but bring specific questions. Just don't say, I don't understand what to do with this. This is just like any class. If you, I expect you to read, I expect you to show me that you are doing some learning, and come in with some specific questions. If you're curious what that is, that's I don't know if you can hear that in the background, that beeping noise. It's just the sound of the sanitation department. They're picking up all the trash and the yard debris that we put on the side of the road. That's pretty much it. CP, you've got your lab, the pre-lab or not pre-lab, but you've got basically your practice lab scenarios. That is there, and the answer keys are there. Remember, you are to read those as if you are actually doing that lab, and then there's data that's already provided. You pretend that's your data that you collected, and you think, if I collected this data, what would I do with it according to these directions? So I recommend take a piece of paper and draw out a diagram of what's happening. That'll help you visualize the reaction process to write out a balanced chemical reaction so you can do your stoichiometry. Yes, you have to do the stoichiometry to be able to get all these questions. Don't forget things like expected yield, percent error. All those things are there, and those equations are in the reference sheet. And then honors, you are watching more videos. This week we're going to be talking about ester reactions, esterification, and so that'll be a process of making ester compounds. That would have been one of the wet labs that we would do. If we do return before the end of the semester, I'll make sure to do this in as many labs with you as possible in real time. I'm sorry you're getting cheated in this, but we'll just make the best we can of this. So that is it. That's all I've got. So keep those hands washed. Use soap. Soap is important. It's not just the water. You have to use soap. Viruses and things of that nature, they have proteins and fats, our own proteins, our own fats that are encased around it. And so that is why you have to use a soap. The soap connects with that and helps move it off of the skin. If not, then those things literally stick to the oils on your hands, which is why it can be so deadly, why you should avoid touching your face unless you've washed that, because you still have those viral particles in the oils on your hands. And so then those oils you touch to your face, pick your nose, hopefully not, etc., etc. So anyway, keep your hands washed, keep logging in, doing your stuff, and I don't know. I'm gonna drink this cup of coffee and I'm gonna go for about a run. I'm gonna go run for about a mile or two, come back, do some office hours. I'll see people this morning at 10:30. Everybody else, good luck. Have a good day.